Ciara was known to be the princess of R&B, but in time she slowly disappeared from the music industry. What really happened to Miss Ciara?
One, two, step. I love it. 1, 2, step. Everybody, 1, 2, step. You may look at me and think that I'm just a young girl, but I'm not just a young girl, baby. I ain't never had nobody show me all the things that you done show me, and the special way I feel when you hold me. Well, my name is Ciara for all you fly fellas. No one can do it better. You can't keep your hands on me. Just be right there, right there.
Hey guys, it's Ronald. I hope you guys are all doing well today. So we are back with another music documentary. I hope you guys are doing well, having a good week. Today we're going to be talking about Miss Ciara, who was one of the most promising, and I want to stress the word promising, one of the most promising stars of the early 2000s, influenced by people like Maya, the Destiny's Child, the Jacksons. Her smooth voice over the Lil Jon's beats literally just took over 2004, 5, 6, 7. That was really the peak of her entire career, even 2008, and it somewhat slowly disintegrated and declined down the line, and we're going to assess and find out why this took place and if it's possible for her to make a comeback. So in 2004, she came out with the album Goodies. That song over Lil Jon's beats was literally the best song. Everybody was turning their heads, who's this girl, this smooth voice over this crunk, kind of like music. Lil Jon's beats were fiery, they were working together, they were blending well together. She was doing amazing, and then she came out with 1, 2 Step and so forth. Her album did great. There was an affinity that she made with Missy Elliott, which obviously helped to bring up the songs like Work and so forth and Control, and it was going so well for Miss Ciara. She was doing absolutely great. The next album that followed had several Grammy nominations, and she continued to do well in terms of songs like a Boy that were really great, and it really did bring up a lot of controversy because she dressed like a boy, which wasn't really good for those times.
Made you cry. Will the rules change up or would they still apply?
The way she was bending up as well, her dancing stance, and that in itself really raised a lot. And there really was that whole kind of issue about whether she's a hermaphrodite or not. That really brought some controversy. I remember as a little kid I used to think, oh wait, does she have both? Like, it was a bit of a talk between classmates ages ago. Even it was so big that it even hit us people here in London. Like, people in the UK were talking about it.
Something when I was born, I got a change, a hermaphrodite or something like that. Okay. They said that I wasn't Oprah and did it, and I'm like, okay, come on now. If I was on Oprah, like, it takes a while before that happens for somebody going Oprah, you know what I mean? Like, that's really big, so we know that didn't happen.
Let's shut it down.
Yeah, and then there's something else about me being a lesbian or something like that. It's so sad, and I'm sitting right here and dressing this, like, it's so plain to me. And one thing that I feel about in life is that the bigger and better things get for you, the more people try to bring you down.
A little controversy with her and Bow Wow in terms of, are they seeing each other, are they not seeing each other? She made songs with 50 Cent, which were also great songs. So it was literally like, as soon as Ciara debuted, every single song she either did, or in terms of songs that she collaborated with, so they weren't only just hitting the charts, they were doing very well for themselves as well, because they were very recognizable. So in my opinion, the only way up was up for Ciara. She's only going to go up, up and up. Everything was going great for her. Grammy nomination, released amazing albums, the smooth voice over Lil Jon's beats. It was different, something not really seen as the usual thing, and everybody kind of, at this point of time, they kind of transfused their sound into more of a poppy, David Guetta kind of stuff, and Ciara did not follow that route. She continued with her crunk, her R&B, the smooth voice, which wasn't as popular at that time, some people would argue. And I feel that could have been one of the main reasons as to why she did not survive. She did not convert or change her music as much as other artists do to stay alive and remain in the music industry. She rather pertained to just her same genre that she started from the beginning, and unfortunately that was slowly wearing out. She was named the Billboard Woman of the Year in 2008, so everything was going well for her. She came out with another album called Fantasy Ride. It wasn't as big in terms of sales, but she did have the song Love, Sex and Magic with Justin Timberlake, which was a huge song and did great for her and really just stabilized her position. That song was very key to that album. It really stabilized her position because she kind of missed that whole second album curse, because the second album was even better, and the third and so, the sales weren't really the same, but Love, Sex and Magic helped to stabilize her position, and that because it was a great song. She came out with another album, One Woman Army and so forth. It wasn't as great, unfortunately. The sales weren't the same. She was sticking to the same type of music, and then she had, you know, a somewhat moderation of a hit after with the next album, the song called Body Party. It wasn't as great as her first few albums in terms of hits, but her last few albums that she did from Body Party weren't as great. So Body Party as a song really did help.
Now it's just me and you. Your body's my party. Let's get it started.
And you know, she did songs like Ride with Ludacris, teamed back up with her high school mate, but that didn't really do much either. And then she came back with a new album called Jackie. Unfortunately, it did not help to hit the same amount of sales in terms of her first few albums. That decline was still strong. It wasn't as great on the charts, so now we have a problem. The last few albums that Ciara has released weren't as great as her first few. The songs themselves weren't as recognizable. They weren't hitting the charts. People weren't really buying them. She was slowly declining. There was a problem. Now, in terms of Ciara as a dancer, I do feel like she is one of the best female dancers out there. That is a fact. She was out here supporting Rihanna, she was out here supporting Britney on the tours and so forth, and she was definitely getting her own type of attention as well as supporting other people. But she was one hell of a performer, and she still is one hell of a performer. And everybody recognizes that. She's more of a dancer than a singer, and she was great, and she still is great, and you can see it in even her current music videos like Give Me That and so forth. They were absolutely amazing, but for some reason something was just not clicking. She was not really changing with the genres that everybody else was doing. She wasn't converting her music to the poppy mainstream David Guetta nonsense that was going on that time. She kind of just, that was one thing. Have Rihanna as well, who kind of just really swallowed her up and continued on going forwards, because she was coming out with hit after hit after hit, whether it was more sort of a poppy thing, not really R&B and so forth, but she kind of just overshadowed Ciara, unfortunately, because when she came out in 2005 and she just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then Umbrella and so forth. So, you know, she was in her own light, and unfortunately Ciara was in trouble. Regardless of her being an amazing performer, her songs were just not hitting the charts as great anymore as they used to, and this was a bit of a problem for her. And you know, with her albums like Jackie and so forth not doing as great, they just weren't hitting the charts in terms of their hits or anything. It was a bit of a shame, unfortunately, for her. You know, the only really good hits were the songs with just Timberlake and Enrique, and the last two big nut hits for her. And you know, you don't really want your big hits to be collaboration, you want it to be your own ones. Body Party was somewhat of a hit, but it wasn't as huge as it should have been, because I feel like there are plenty of songs that Ciara has recently released that has been really good, but unfortunately the tension just does not want to stick with her, and she wasn't as great as she used to be. So I feel like the Princess of Kronkeby unfortunately declined due to many reasons, such as Rihanna #1, who kind of swallowed her up. Then you have the whole idea of the fact that she was not changing and converting her music sound. She was staying the same, and hats off to her for doing so, sticking to her R&B, sticking to that smooth voice, those addiction kind of beats that Lil Jon was making. She was sticking to that and so forth, and you know, she wasn't really converting her sound, and that in itself I feel like is one of the reasons as to why she drowned out as well. Regardless of the fact that she was a great performer, it just still did not click, unfortunately, and that's why Ciara unfortunately fell. She rose, and she literally was just like a phoenix climbing high with songs like 1 2 Steps, Lose Control, Grammy nominations, Billboard Woman of the Year, #1 albums, you know, Goodies, and all these Love, Sex and Magic, all these songs and so forth. She was literally just doing amazing, but there was a decline because she wasn't changing her music sound. Rihanna came in as well and swallowed her up, to be honest, and her albums just weren't clicking. She's still going with that sultry R&B, and yes, those songs are amazing, they're not really chart friendly, so it is what it is. But I wouldn't say she's completely irrelevant to this present day. You know, she's associated with Kim Kardashian #1 as well. They've become very good friends. She was the presenter of the Billboard Awards 2015. You know, she started a lucrative modeling career. She's obviously married to a sports player, and that's always around social media and what's going on. And then she, you know, she used to be going out with Future, who was quite big a couple years ago. So she's still in people's words, and she's still around. I wouldn't say she's completely irrelevant, but she's not as big as what she used to be. It is a bit of a shame, to be honest, because I feel like she could have been huge. She could have been massive, just as Rihanna, just like Beyonce, but unfortunately it just did not happen for her, and it was a bit of a shame. But do you guys feel like Ciara can make a comeback? Because I feel like she could. Great album, good hits, VMA performance, Grammy performance, because we know she performs well. she's got it. So let me know what you guys think about Ciara. Let me know what you guys think about what hits you like, or anything that I've missed out. Let me know what you guys think as well. Do you feel like she made a comeback? Do you feel like she should make a comeback, or is she good like she is now? Let me know what you guys think. Hit me up on my Instagram and my website down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will most definitely catch you guys soon.